Breaking news. Rhondda Cynon Taf has some of the most energy inefficient housing across Wales. This presents a high risk of fuel poverty for residents, but many people would not know that they are affected by the impact of fuel poverty. Fuel poverty can affect anyone at any stage in their life or as a result of circumstances. One of the misunderstood facts is that only households in receipt of welfare benefits can be affected. However, households that are in work but on a low income or households that have had a loss of income can also be affected. A change of circumstances such as a job loss or a health reason can impact on your ability to maintain a warm home. This can be seen even more so currently due to the COVID-19 pandemic, where people are generally spending more time at home, which increases energy bills. Also, if your main source of heating is not gas, you are likely to be more of a risk of households being in fuel poverty. If you spend more than 10% of your net income on energy bills, you would be classed as being in fuel poverty. However, households that spend less than this may still be a risk if you underheat your home or are unable to afford to heat your home to an adequate comfort level suitable to your needs. The majority of housing in RCT are stone-built terraced homes which tend to be less energy efficient than newer build homes. This, coupled with lower income levels, makes residents more at risk of falling into fuel poverty. You don't need to live in a cold home, leave the house or use public buildings just to get warm or save money on your energy bills. The Council's Heat and Save team is here to help you. Cold homes are bad for your health, in particular cold-related illnesses such as respiratory and cardiovascular conditions. Besides poor health, cold-related illnesses causes absences from work, social isolation and sleep deprivation. It may lead to mental or stress-related illness with negative knock-on effects for family and friends. 8,500 people died in England and Wales in the winter of 2019 to 2020 due to cold homes. The figures are based on ONS figures released, which highlight that overall there were 28,300 excess winter deaths, an increase of almost 20% on the previous winter. Poor housing costs the NHS in Wales approximately £67 million per year in treatment costs, with the full cost to Welsh society estimated to be around £168 million per year, as reported by National Energy Action. As of April 2020, 155,000 households were still in fuel poverty. 43% of households living in properties with poorer energy efficiency, that is, Energy Performance Certificates band F and G, were fuel poor compared to 5% of households living in properties in bands B to C. Welsh Housing Conditions Survey estimated that 10% of households with gas central heating were in poverty compared to 39% of households with storage heating or fixed room heating. 7% of people living with insulated cavity-walled dwellings were in fuel poverty, compared to 21% of those living in solid and insulated properties. The Energy Performance Certificate of a home gives you a score of A to G, highlighting the energy efficiency of a home. Homes that are rated C are some of the most energy efficient, and these have a much lesser chance of being in fuel poverty, with around 5% of those households being in fuel poverty, compared to those that are rated F or G, where figures can be as high as 43%. Due to the housing stock in RCT being primarily solid-walled terrace homes, this can present another risk of homes scoring lower on the EPC rating. Any EPCs are registered online if you wanted to check on a home's latest energy performance rating. If your home doesn't have an EPC, these can be arranged via a registered domestic energy assessor at a cost of around £55. If your home is rated D or below, you are more at risk of falling into fuel poverty, and help and assistance may be available for you. Condensation is different from damp. It is surface dampness and can be visible as black mould, whereas damp is caused from penetrating water or wetness, usually caused by a leak into the property or as rising damp from the ground up. Condensation and mould are usually found in areas known as cold spots around the home, such as tiles, window frames or walls near windows, in cupboards, behind wardrobes on external walls, or in corners of rooms where the air also doesn't circulate so well. If there is mould present with a condensation, it can lead to rot, staining on furniture and belongings, as well as impact upon your health. Sometimes, to the visual eye, it can be difficult to be sure whether it is condensation or damp, but this is usually checked by a damp meter and based on assessment of where the markings are in the home, and if the home is not heated or vented to suit the home's requirements, then it is more than likely to be condensation and possibly mould growth. Also, if water is collecting on your windows, this can be a sign of condensation. Factors that affect condensation are underheating the home or things such as drying clothes on radiators, as well as bathing or cooking. Basically, anything that causes increase in moisture in the air. Even breathing within a home increases the moisture content. Mould growth produces allergens which can cause an allergic reaction, irritants and sometimes toxic substances. Inhaling or touching mould spores may cause an allergic reaction, but they can also have a negative impact on respiratory illnesses such as asthma. It can be of a particular concern to people who are immunocompromised and can cause longer-term effects such as memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, depression, trouble concentrating and confusion if the mould exposure is toxic. People living with chronic lung conditions are also at risk of additional health implications. National research has shown that 1 in 5 of excess winter deaths in England and Wales are attributable to cold housing. However, there are a number of ways that can help reduce or eradicate condensation or mould in your home. Firstly, the mould can be cleaned off with a suitable spray designed for mould eradication. Check the labels on products, available from DIY stores or on the high street. It's important that all product instructions are followed. Mould can cause staining, which can be more difficult to clean off, especially if it has been there for a long time, and sometimes damages furniture or belongings that can't be repaired. The main way to stop condensation is by thinking of HIVE, H-I-V-E. Adequate heating, inadequate insulation, inadequate ventilation, and excessive moisture. Install an efficient form of heating with adequate controls. Leaving the heating on all day is not better than knocking it on and off. This can be expensive. If you're on a low income, you may be eligible for assistance. Insulating your home adequately will cut down on heat loss and unwanted ventilation. This will result in less drafts and a reduction in your energy bills, as your heating won't have to work as hard to heat your property. Adequate insulation will also stop cold bridging. This is where there is a continuous path through a surface from the outside of your home to the inside. An example of this is a solid stone property. If you feel an uninsulated exterior stone wall inside your home, it will often feel cold to the touch. Hot air is drawn to cold surfaces. When the hot air hits the cold surface, it condenses, producing condensation, leaving the surface wet. Over an extended period, this can lead to issues including mould formation and eventually issues with the building fabric. Ventilation is essential to a healthy living environment. Like people, it is important that buildings can breathe. This can be controlled by simple measures such as opening windows or installing vents. Any existing vents should never be covered. Not only do vents assist with insulation, but they also act as a safety feature in the event of a carbon monoxide leak. Understandably, many who struggle to heat their homes are reluctant to ventilate due to potential heat loss. Closing doors within the property will help to alleviate this to a degree, as will the installation of draft barriers. Excess moisture. Many of the measures that can be taken to reduce moisture are completely free. If you are drying clothes indoors, do so near an open window. Keeping doors shut while cooking and showering will also make a difference, as it prevents warm, moist air travelling through the property. Using the extractor fan will make a difference in terms of both ventilation and moisture reduction. There are ways you can improve the warmth within your home that don't cost you anything or are cheaper quick fixes. Set room or radiator thermostats suitable to the room use and your comfort levels. Use the heating when needed or when people are at home, rather than leaving the heating on whilst you are out. It's a myth that turning your heating on and off will be more expensive, but if you are doing this, consider the warming up and cooling down times needed for your home. Don't have the heating on for too long before you need it, and turn it off slightly before you want it to go off so that you can benefit from the free cooling down time. Draft-proof your home, but also consider ventilation. Carpets rather than laminate flooring can hold in more warmth, and so can thick curtains. Making your home more energy efficient can make a significant impact to the warmth, and Heat and Save can help identify if there is any financial assistance available to help you based on your circumstances. Upgrade your gas condensing boiler or consider renewable energy technologies if suitable. Loft insulation, cavity wall or solid wall insulation, window replacement. Various heating options available include electric, although this can be the most expensive unless you are sourcing the electricity from renewable energy. There are options available for different tariffs, and with new versions of electric storage heaters such as quantum ones, which can be cheaper than older types of storage heaters. Gas A-rated condensing boilers. If you are on gas, these are considered to be the easiest and cost-effective way to improve your heating system. However, if you are thinking of moving away from the use of fossil fuels, there are new hybrid models being brought into the marketplace, and other types of renewable energy heating options are available. Renewable heating. Air source heat pumps, ground source heat pumps, infrared heating, solar thermal, recycled air systems, to name but a few. Oil, or LPG, can be expensive to use and needs to be delivered in bulk. For homes that are not connected to the gas grid, these can be one of the most used fuels. However, with more renewable technologies becoming available, it would be worthwhile looking into whether a more sustainable product could be used that comes from renewable energy. Biomass. A sustainable source of fuel, but with new changes to clear air policies around phasing out the use of wet wood and coal, it is important to use the correct materials to burn. Also, these require management of a stock of fuel and filling of the boiler. Government policies are moving towards the phasing out of coal central heating due to the impact on air quality and health, as well as improving energy efficiency standards. Coal and wet wood have already been phased out in England, with Welsh Government likely to follow suit in 2 years. If you are in receipt of free coal and you change your energy source, you can still receive cash in lieu of coal payments to go towards your energy bills. Some of the least efficient homes are not connected to the gas mains, and if you are one of these homes, we can help provide further advice. If you are thinking of upgrading your existing heating system or installing a first-time central heating, it would be worth you speaking to us to discuss what options may be best for you and your home and your circumstances, if there is any financial assistance available to help you. Climate change is a current issue that is affecting us all now. Compelling evidence has been published showing that if action is not taken now, it is irreversible, and climate change is already having serious impacts on the world's water systems through more flooding and droughts. Warmer air can hold a higher water content, which makes rainfall patterns more extreme. Rivers and lakes supply drinking water for people and animals and are a vital resource for farming and industry. In RCT, we have already experienced the devastating effects that can be caused by flooding in the last couple of years, which has affected many homes in the borough. Climate change isn't just a global issue, it's a local issue, as we have seen in recent years with the severe flooding that devastated many homes in RCT. The Climate Change Act was the world's first legally binding framework for tackling climate change. Wales was the first country to declare a climate emergency, and although the Welsh Government has created legislation to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, the commitment is there to reach this sooner, with interim targets in the meantime. In Wales, housing is responsible for circa 13% of the total greenhouse gases. However, within housing, it is heating and hot water that makes up 25% of the total energy use in a home. In addition to this, 80% of the homes in existence now will still be in existence in 2050. Therefore, although it is important to improve standards and energy use of new build homes, it is vital for existing homes to benefit from retrofitting measures. These changes go beyond just carbon-saving targets, as they will benefit the health of the human race and give its wildlife and natural world a chance to prosper and reduce the impact of climate change for future generations. Part of these changes include a move to decarbonisation heating, which means moving away from fossil fuel to other types of lower carbon or cleaner types of energy, such as renewable energy sources. We urge households to consider all options available and think of the future when you are thinking about changing or installing a new heating system. Contact us to discuss all options that may be available to you and funding opportunities. Along with improving the energy efficiency of our homes and reducing the amount of carbon emissions, we can also look at other aspects of our lives to reduce our carbon footprint. This includes reducing, reusing and recycling, transportation, and making choices around items purchased. We can provide you with free, impartial advice on any matters relating to energy at your home, including finding help and assistance that is available to you for your circumstances. You can also find out more information on our web pages. Please contact us, the Heat and Save team, Housing Strategy, Sardis House, Sardis Road, Pontypridd, CF37 1DU. Phone 01443 281136 or email heatandsave@rctcbc.gov.uk.